Ladies and gentlemen, this is a test of the Paranormal Portal operating broadcasting system. If this were an actual show, this would be followed by lots of hair-raising tales and fun-filled adventures of the paranormal. This is only a test. No, it's not. It's live. We're live and we're real, and this is about as good as it's going to get all night, I'm afraid. But thank you guys for coming in. It is the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. And we are underway here on the Paranormal Portal, and thank you all for coming in and joining us. We always look forward to seeing our family come together every time the lights go on. Well, my family disperses when the lights goes off. But I'm not alone here. I got my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard, here with me. And I got to unmute him.
Yeah.
There you are.
There I is. Hi, good afternoon, evening.
Good morning.
Where we are.
Wherever you are, around the nation, across the nation, around the world. Chris Gio. Thank you.
Chris Gio.
That was my Chris Gio. He says, hey, good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are across the nation, around the world.
You know where he got it?
I don't.
Art Bell.
Oh, really? Oh.
It's very similar to something he said, if not fairly close.
I don't know. Yeah, I've only heard it from him, but welcome. Don, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
I am doing a wunderbar. I'm on the water tonight, though. I need energy, so a little water and vitamin B.
Yep, vitamin B is in there.
Goodness, yeah.
All kinds of goodness in a little squirt.
Little.
I don't even know what the hell that means, but it's...
Yeah, let's just leave
it lay there. Leave it there dying and bleeding.
Leave it in that puddle, it's fine.
Right, so welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show, Don. And... we are going to do a show tonight about glitches in the Matrix.
Glitches in the Matrix.
Here's the thing, and a lot of people are playing with this idea, from Neil deGrasse Tyson to Elon Musk to, everybody down the street, your neighbor, your... Michikaku, yeah, is toying with the idea of, do we live in a simulation? Is this real, or do we just believe it's real and we're in the middle of some kind of in-depth, hardcore virtual reality where we are, in a computer program. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. So, because every once in a while, things just seem to go sideways and the laws of reality break down. Now, you could say that's the paranormal because the paranormal would seem to be where things go sideways and break down, and all of a sudden the people are confronted with a reality that they didn't know prior to that. But, and it kind of plays off of the Matrix movies. I mean, it was pretty kind of brilliant of them to play in the ghosts and the vampires and all those things as the old programs and stuff, and they are able to break the rules of the Matrix in order to do what the agents did as the newer development. Pretty interesting concept, really, and so I don't know. What do you think, Don?
I think it's interesting. Ever since those movies came out, specifically those ones, and they hit the mainstream, and people have been looking at things a lot differently. Is that just it? Did that cat pass by me twice, or am I just seeing things? And then if you come to the realization that in your reality, that same cat walked past you twice in the last 30 seconds. Going the same exact way, there might be an issue. It's an interesting idea, being in being played as a video game. Like, what was that? There was another movie, Gamer. Was it? Gerard Butler.
Yep.
And there was Surrogates.
A twisted movie.
Yeah, that was a twisted movie. That's true. And then Surrogates with
weird.
Bruce Willis. And so, I mean, it's like,
That guy, that big heavy guy dripping in gravy. Oh my God.
yeah. Let's not go in there. He's eating it. He's eating gravy with his hand.
Yeah.
It's just dripping down.
That guy was in a happy place for sure. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt your
No.
thought. I just, you
But
put
I mean,
that in my
that's,
head.
that's
and I was
just
stuck.
exactly, that's exactly kind of, the weirdness that comes out of brains anymore.
Yeah.
And those certainly aren't the first ones, but they're the ones that really hit hardest.
Yeah.
And it's an odd thought
Mm.
that, if that's really happening, who's the puppet master?
Ooh. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I went into my own glitch in the Matrix once you mentioned gamer.
Yeah.
I keep seeing that big guy. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, yeah, it's a chilling place to be in my head normally,
understand.
but with visuals like that, it's absolutely terrifying. So,
Yeah, no doubt.
but yeah, it is. It's really curious. What is really going on? Now, there's also an esoteric way to look at this.
That's true.
Do we create our reality? Are we creating our reality? And is there something going sideways in us
Right.
when these things happen? And is this showing us, unequivocally that we are manifesting around us everything that we experience and go
Right.
through every day?
Being the creator beings.
Right. So that's another way to look at it. And really, honestly, I don't think it probably really matters either way. It's just mostly semantics at that point because, well, I mean, I guess it's more empowering to think that we're creators
Right.
because therein lies the ability to change the creation.
Right.
If you know you're the creator, then maybe you can figure out what you're doing to create what you're in, and you can change that and change your reality. Now, if we're stuck in a matrix, then somebody else is doing this, and we got to figure out a way to
Right.
change our reality within their system, and that would be, of course, harder. So I kind of like thinking of us as creator beings, but whatever the case is, we're here anyway, and the portal exists. The end. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Do we get to bat our eyelashes again tonight?
No, I think we'll not do
We'll
that
not do
again.
that?
No,
That was-
I didn't get any money after that, so
Oh.
I'm only going to do that if there's cash involved.
If only it happens that way.
Yeah. Hello, Weird Desk US, and hello to everybody that's come in. We really appreciate you being here and being a part of what we're doing. We got in TFR. We got TFR Wookiees over there. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Gemini is over there. Don Quixote's over there. Hello, Don Quixote. Somebody just left.
Matrix. No, it's somebody else just came in.
Oh, okay. Joyful Humanoid is in there. Curious Guest is in there. Hi, Curious Guest. I hope you're curious enough to stay. And Matrix Assassin, of all things. There's somebody in there called Matrix Assassin.
Yeah.
This is your show. This is where you belong. All right, Don, who's in
good
YouTube.
God. We've got Angela and Chris. We got our friend Down Under, Aussie Tiger, Bigfoot in Germany, Black Tree and Duke. They're here. Thank you for being here. Our favorite mods. Cameron's here. Deb Varner. Shout out to Deb. Hi, Deb. She's got a busy night tonight.
Yes, she does. She's going to be on Paisley's show after this, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she's burning the midnight oil for sure.
Yeah, I hope you're all coffeeed up. We got Gemini, Isaac, Josh Jacobs, Lisa's here, Lewis, of course, MCAT, Mr. MCAT, we love you, Marcus Aurelius, Nellie Moen, Noli420, Philip Blair, Renee, of course, one of our hardcore keep arounds, Suzanne, and the Weird Desk US. How the heck are you all?
How are you all? Well, thank you all for being here. And of course, people continue to come into the portal as the night goes on. So
Yep, there's many musings. Yep.
many musings just made it. Good
And
to see you.
Beth just walked in.
Oh, very cool, Beth. Good to see you. Many musings. Thanks for coming. And everybody, thank you for being here. Lisa
absolutely.
Heilman. Hi. Did you already say Lisa?
Yeah, that's all right, though.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm hello to
Double
everybody.
shout outs.
Double shout outs. That's bonus points. So we're going to talk about glitches in the Matrix tonight. And, you guys can let us know what you think as we go. But the call-in lines are always open on the portal. That doesn't mean I always see them, as we found out last night. When, I missed one call. And then I totally had troubles getting Diane's call. she tried, and man, it was just a mess.
Yeah, she's been having problems with her
Yeah, I
phones,
don't know. She's got some.
She's kind of glitchy with the Matrix kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
her
too.
phones are
It's
glitching in the
wow.
Matrix, that's for sure. But if you want to call in and be a part of the show, you can do so by calling 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. And I know our mods, like Julia, are putting out the phone number as well. Those of you on TFR, you'll have to write it down because it is a different number than what you're used to seeing. But it's 720-923-0500. If you're watching us live on YouTube, it is the number right up here, right above my head. If you see it.
Sorry, Tracy does it better.
Yeah. Tracy does a hell of a banner. Absolutely. Tracy Arnold, who was a guest when we did Bigfoot Odysseys
Absolutely.
show. That's right. Yep.
Hi, Daniela. She just popped in.
Hi, Daniela. It's good to see you. Thank you so much. And thank you again for having us on there.
that was awesome,
really,
yeah.
that was a lot of fun. Even with that train wreck start that I had.
Well, once we got into the part that, we're familiar with, it just went like butter.
It's kind of like driving somebody else's car,
Yeah,
that's a stick shift.
You
And you sit there grinding gears like, but once you get that rhythm, it goes okay. And that was me driving the Odyssey. It was just like, but we made it. We got through it. And it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Had a lot of fun doing it. So, anyway, we're going to continue on our journey here and get into some of these weird things. Got a collection of people's experiences to share with you. Again, you can call in if you like. If you have a story that you want to share on the show, not necessarily tonight's show, but you'd like to share with our show at some point, please, by all means, email it at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Again, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. And we will be sure to share it on. Hey, Mogulon Monster just came in. Good to see you. There's Cha-Cha. All right. Life can begin now.
All right. Show's starting.
So I got some stories here. Let me just read some of these for y'all. Some of these. All right. So the first one is me and my friend were at a Chinese restaurant, and we ordered General Tso chicken dinner and a shrimp lo mein dish. When we sat down, we took out both boxes and set them on the table about 2 feet apart. My friend opens the first box, and we see a shrimp lo mein dish. It has all the things in there: noodles, shrimp, fried rice. He closes the box and opens the other box, and inside that box is another shrimp lo mein dish. Shrimp, noodles, fried rice. Oh, I think they must have mixed the order. And I was about to say this when my friend says out loud, "Looks like they made a mistake and gave us 2." And he opens up the first box again, and inside of it is General Tso's chicken dinner order.
Huh.
General Tso chicken, white rice, and egg roll. He froze and looked at me. I looked back at him, and we sat in silence. It took us 5 minutes or so to collect ourselves. I have no idea what the hell happened. That is creepy. That's creepy. So reality just shifted right in front of them.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty hardcore, right?
Some sleight of hand.
So, I mean, you think about it, and it's like, well, maybe if it was one person, if it was me, I would just think, God, I must have opened the same box twice.
Right.
Having a eyewitness makes that so much more credible and possible and more real. It's still really bizarre, and maybe in the grand scheme of things, the fact that General Tso's chicken appeared probably isn't a real big on the cosmic order of things, but it is demonstrating a pretty incredibly profound event.
Right.
That something was manifest and changed in that moment.
Right.
So I think that's really, really cool. So I don't know. What do you think of that one, Don?
I think I would rather have the General Tso's.
I think you're coming at this a little wrong, Don.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about your food preferences.
Oh, okay. Because actually today we had sushi and soft crab po' boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well played, sir. Well played.
But it's like, I'm the kind of guy though, if I get 2 pizzas, and they come in and I go, before the guy leaves, I'm like, hey, hold on a sec. I go and set them both down and open them up at the same time, or open one up and then the other and leave them open at the same time. So I wonder if they would have done my style, if they would have, had one of each, or the 2 of the whatever it was.
Right.
So, but yeah, those are because if it was me, I'd be the guy opening the same one each time. It's like, wait a minute, I'm forgetting to shuffle them around,
Right.
So I open the the sweet and sour chicken twice instead of the, so
Sure.
I don't know. I think that's just for me that would just be, well, I opened the wrong one.
Right, but it was two people that saw it and
Right.
both experienced that same shift. And, the one was observing, one was opening, and they both saw the same dish twice until he reopened the first box and it was like,
Oh.
that's like spooky. But in a cool way,
Yeah.
because it shows the malleable nature of reality.
That's true.
See, whether it's a construct or if it's just us manifesting, either way, maybe we can change it either way. I don't know. Very strange. Or it was the Matrix correcting itself. Like,
Right.
oops, I screwed that up. It's the architect.
Yes, it was a black cat twice. Oops.
Yeah, right. Ooh,
We screwed
deja
that
vu.
one up. Oh, they changed something.
All right,
Yeah,
so
they
let's
did.
see what this is. This next one is really, really short. And now this is one that, I don't know, you'd think you would know your own body.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just read the narrative and you guys can tell me what you think. It says, I spilled chocolate ice cream on my leg and I wiped it off and there was still a pale brown stain in the shape of the ice cream splotch. I told my mom, who said it was a birthmark. I will swear under oath that never before that moment did I have a birthmark there. Right? Again, little stupid things, but they are showing very, very, if this person is credible at all. Let's just, for the sake of the show, we're going to have to suspend any kind of disbelief and just say that everything written here is real. And again, I'll go back to my old standby. If only 1% of them are real,
Right.
it's still incredible.
It's
But
still
for the sake of the
incredible,
show, this person should know if they look down on their leg if they should see a birthmark before. If they don't see one and then suddenly spill chocolate ice cream, that same shape, they wipe it up, and that same shape still exists on their skin, and the mom says, oh, it's a birthmark. I'm thinking NPC for mom for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
I'm going mom's
Just
an
believe
NPC.
what I say.
Yeah, my mom's an NPC.
Just believe what I say.
Right, and NPC, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with the terminology of a lot of the Matrix AI construct discussion, an NPC is a non-player character. And so the belief is that there are only so many organic souls here on Earth, and the rest of them are actually manifest with the Matrix we're living in as part of the program. And so in this case, I'm thinking mom's an NPC. she's part of the problem. and everybody loves their mom, and you can love your NPC mom too. But if she tells you something is not true,
You kind of have to question your reality.
you kind of gotta not worry about it if she's pissed that you're not doing your chores anymore. I'm not mowing the lawn anymore for that NPC. So I don't know. Interesting though, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know where your birthmarks are? Do you have any? I mean, I don't want to get creepy and weird, but
Well, I
just
know
curious.
where all my scars should be.
Right. So so let's say for scars, for instance, I got a ton of them because
Right.
I've been tore apart so many times in my life. But I know where they are, and
Yeah.
if a new one, big one, showed up, I'd be a little freaked out.
Well, it's like, but I mean, like, every day, you whether you're just sitting on the toilet or you're taking a shower, right? I mean, what the top of your thighs look like.
Right. Yeah.
And if you drop some chocolate ice cream on there, god darn it, if it's chocolate ice cream.
Right.
Well, because you're like, oh, look, oh, what's that? That's never been there before.
Right, and she said that with I'm just assuming she, but it could be he. After the wife.
That was another thing I was going to say, but let's drop that.
Oh yeah.
Never noticed those dangling before.
Oh, say, I thought we were dropping it.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't drop it very far, Don. It fell right on your microphone.
Sorry.
So anyway, but my point is that in the exact shape of the splotch of ice cream,
Yeah,
wipe it,
that's crazy.
and it is still there.
You would know if that was a bird.
Ah, that's an X-File, dude. That's totally an X-File. That's
Yeah,
creepy.
no doubt.
That's creepy, ladies and gentlemen. So how about this one? Was on a road trip with family once, and we stayed at a hotel for a night. Our room was nothing more than 2 beds and a restroom with a big mirror on across from the beds. Everyone went to sleep but me. I stayed up playing a mobile game I was addicted to at the time, and at about 2 a.m., I went to sleep. When I woke up, I noticed something was ever so slightly off. The mirror was gone.
Oh.
The room had 2 separate bedrooms, and there were 3 beds. Apparently, I was the only one who noticed because my family called me crazy. Still confused as hell to this very day as to what happened. So, what do you think of that, Don? The
You know,
surroundings shifted.
and sometimes we have to consider, the idea that, you were talking about, the esoteric idea that, maybe it's like a shifting of the veils. Maybe in somebody's reality, they're there with their family, but they walked into a different room with them.
Right.
And then when they woke up, or whatever that was, or got out of the shower or whatever, and washed away, whatever that might have been there, and come to realize that this isn't the room that I walked into, but my family is here. Did they cross, or did the family cross? So kind of that shifting veil kind of thing, the piercing of the veil, the fourth, the next dimension. So and Cha says she's never heard of the Mandela effect until just today.
Oh,
what? So yeah, that would be kind of a.
Well, you got some learning to do,
You got some
young
learning.
lady.
See our previous episodes in our catalog.
Go
on
through our
YouTube.
catalog on YouTube, and you'll find Mandela effects and reality glitches and stuff.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time we've done this kind of show. Now, MCAT took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, what do you say?
He said Mandela effect. Now, what if
Yeah.
that was the precise moment, just
Right.
like you're saying,
That something
that
shifted.
somebody
Yeah.
that person shifted
Right.
into a parallel reality.
Right.
And so for them, that might be the only thing they notice.
Right.
Is that, hey, my room is suddenly different. There's no mirror and there's another bed and things are really weird. But perhaps everything changed. But
Right.
it's so subtle, and it becomes mirror, mirror, or magic mirror on the wall, that kind of stuff, or Berenstain Bears or Berenstein Bears and things like that. But that's a great point, MCAT. You were right on the money there, brother. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And it's hard to tell. It's
Well,
hard to tell
yeah.
if it's a dimensional shift or if it's a glitch in the matrix, because they're very, very similar in a lot of ways. In my opinion, this is the way I think. Because some people know it was the Bernstein Bears or the Berenstain Bears, and Berenstein. And so. It's the same thing. It's like the Bible verses. The wolves shall lie down with the
that
sheep,
was the lion. Always was the lion laying down with the lamb.
Exactly.
So, and that's another show, ladies and gentlemen, but very interesting.
Well, I think they're connected.
Right.
I think there's connection there.
Yep, I'll give you that. I agree completely, and I think that's a great parallel that you drew, and MCAT was right on it too.
Yeah.
I think so. But very strange, very, very, very creepy, strange.
Cha-cha, it's M-E-Y-E-R, not M-A-Y-E-R.
M-E-Y-E-R, O-S-E-A-R, M-E-Y-E-R.
Mhm.
I always had M-E's, yeah.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But that is a Mandela effect she's talking about, yeah.
Yep.
Very strange, just little stupid subtleties, but when you think of the ramifications of that, does it really matter if it's Berenstain or Berenstein? No. It probably doesn't. That reality's continuing, and we're still on the ride either way. But it demonstrates a fundamental shift.
Right.
And that's the breadcrumbs, ladies and gentlemen. That's the breadcrumbs. What else has changed? I mean, that's the cosmetic stuff that we notice, but what else has changed?
Right.
Now that this could become a Mandela effect show. I mean, and I guess we can just ride this wave because
we'll see where it goes.
the portal takes us where she will. We aren't really driving it; we're just surfing it. So, another one. Let's talk about this one. Well, let's see what we're doing on time here because 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yep. Well, I see Renee's in TFR. Renee's over in TFR chat too. Good to see you there as well, Renee.
Oh yeah, that's Renee.
Yeah.
That's Renee. Yep.
I got Heather Locklear or something all over the page.
Yep.
On the TFR chat. Must be Renee's here. All right, but we'll get into let me see if I can find a quick short one here. This one's short. It says, I was putting makeup on. From the corner of my eye, I saw what looked like a shadow of a hand slap down onto my nightstand. I would have dismissed it as my brain playing tricks on me or something, but I heard it too. And it sounded like a really loud smack. Was weird, but I experienced so many small, unusual incidents like this thing randomly falling or shaking, so I guess I've become apathetic to it. That was the first time I ever actually heard the thing too, though. So they're actually seeing a hand come out of nowhere and just slap the nightstand. Now that sounds more like a haunting kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep. But still, that's pretty cool if there is an actual manifestation to these weird noises that we hear. And I've always just assumed that the spirits are manipulating the sound waves in like a what the hell's that name? Castatic resonance or my head. Stochastic resonance. That's it. It's one of those polysyllabic words. Oh, I love this stuff. Ooh. So anyway, I'm trying to speak, and sometimes it works well, and other times my tongue is flapping underneath me like a mud flap. Yeah. So we're down to about a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to remind everybody to please go and check out our podcast, and our podcast is available everywhere podcasts are available. So if you like Pandora, if you like Spotify, if you like iTunes, Apple exactly, Podcasts. Apple Play, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts from, ladies and gentlemen, there the Paranormal Portal will be waiting for you. And it's been a lot of fun. We've done really phenomenally well for being a brand new podcast. We've got a lot of people checking out the shows, and we've become introduced to a lot of these listeners as they're coming over to YouTube and checking us out as well. And it's just really amazing. And, it's been so much fun to expand the scope of what the Paranormal Portal is. But, it's really awesome. And so we release new podcasts Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week. And, if you subscribe, if you find us like on iTunes, subscribe, please leave a review, hopefully a good review, but whatever you feel it deserves. I mean, I'm not going to beg people for 5 stars and hope that we get all these, cosmetic 5-star ratings, whatever you think is worth. But, let us know. We'd love you. We'd love it if you help support that. But we're going to go to our first break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. We'll be back with more glitches in the Matrix after these messages. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our half hour number 2. It's not hour yet, but it feels like it's moving that fast. It's really cruising tonight, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. I almost missed my cue. Hi. Yes, it's cruising.
Welcome to the show, Don.
Hi, nice to be back.
Yeah, good to have you, kind of.
Took a mental vacation.
Well, you got to get a break somehow.
It was that sake I drank for dinner. Oh, my goodness.
Oof. Oofta. I have a bottle of that out in the other room, as a matter of fact.
Sake?
I do.
God,
Yep.
don't let me near it.
Well, Don has problem.
I'm just gonna crash on the couch here.
Yeah, well, I haven't tried it though, so I don't know if it's good or not. I just picked it up. I saw it.
I
on
can
the
tell
store.
you.
Yeah, after it's gone. Hey, that was really good
That was some
stuff.
good stuff there, Brent.
Thank you so much. So
Yeah,
we
what's
are
sleep,
doing.
Lacey? Exactly.
Yeah.
What's sleep?
Once asleep. We're doing the glitches in the Matrix tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a compelling discussion. Just an amazing bridge to so many other phenomena, and it is what it is. Either you believe it or you don't.
Right.
But a lot of people are experiencing some weirdness, and we really think we've kind of come to this conclusion tonight that the Mandela effect and glitches in the Matrix could very well be intertwined, and it could be maybe one bigger phenomena that has many different symptoms,
Yeah.
and people are identifying the symptoms based on what they are experiencing.
Right.
So, are they reality shifts? Is this actually when people are shifting into another dimensional reality? And I don't know. That's pretty deep and profound and tough to know for sure. But we've got a bunch of stories tonight of people that are having glitches in the Matrix. So I hope you guys will sit back and enjoy the rest of it. It's Don and myself and all of you on this grand portal adventure. I do believe they are connected together. I'm living it. Bigfoot in Germany says. Yeah, I do too, brother. I think it's got,
Yeah.
most of what I've experienced is just the oh, this is now called this. That doesn't make sense. Or in this movie they say this rather than that. So for me, most of my experiences have been absolutely cosmetic, perhaps more so than I realized, but that's all I'm noticing. But some people are like their whole lives are standing on their
Right,
heads, and
yeah.
things have just gone sideways.
Yeah, crazy stuff. going on with
Completely.
them.
So, but I guess I consider myself, really quite fortunate because, my life hasn't turned upside down. It has before, but that was just due to, some really great relationship choices.
I just chalk it up to bad Chinese.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not going to put a nationality on it, but
I just meant the food.
I hear you. All right, so let's get to another one of these stories of people experiencing a glitch in the Matrix. It says, my friend and I were talking to our roommate and her friend one night, and her girlfriend one night, and roommate had just received her new phone and was sitting in bed using it while the four of us chatted. So the roommate had set her phone down while we were all chatting, and guess she goes to pick it back up, and it's gone. Like she had just sat it down for a few minutes tops before she noticed that the thing had poofed. I call it for her, and we can't hear it. We take the comforter and sheets off the bed and shake them all out. We look under the bed, behind it, everywhere we can, and the phone is gone. Even though we hadn't left the room at all during our conversation when the phone disappeared. We tore apart the whole apartment trying to find it, and finally, we decided to try her car. It was in the locked trunk.
Huh.
We live on the 3rd floor, and we're all in the same room watching her use it before it teleported. Wow, that's creepy. So what do you think of that one, Don?
That is creepy. However, unfortunately, I'm dealing with a light issue, so I apologize. I only missed some of it. Or I only missed
Well,
some.
basically, she was using her brand new phone in
And
this
it
room
ended up in the-
on the 3rd floor.
Oh, right.
And suddenly she reached.
Wow.
Yeah, they're up in the 3rd floor room having a chat with 4 friends. And she reaches for the phone. It's gone. It's not on
gone.
the table right where she set it
It
down.
was
They look
locked in the
everywhere.
trunk.
They toss the apartment looking for it. It's gone. And they finally had the idea, let's go check your car. And it's locked in the trunk.
That's called magic.
Yeah. And for my next trick,
For the next trick,
anybody
I'm
got a
gonna
20? Yeah, here, pick a card. So, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty incredible.
Sorry, I'm dinking with the microphone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
That's all right. You almost sound like a mix master over there. Yeah, there you go. So, here we go. Another one, I went to camp when I was around 12. I took one of those disposable film cameras with me cell phones were still in flip phone phase and I didn't have one. I took a picture of two people I made friends with there, and one of them appears in the photo twice in two different poses entirely.
Wow.
Still weirds me out when I come across that photo. Wow.
So the same person, one photo, two different poses.
Yep. Yeah, two different
Right, yeah.
manifestations of the same person.
Wow.
So wonder if that photo was taken right
As it
the reality
transitioned,
shifted.
yeah.
Yep, as that shift happened. Wow, I suppose with the law of averages that would happen, and somebody would have that experience. But creepy, very creepy. So what if, ladies and gentlemen, what if we are always shifting dimension? What if, okay, so we have the idea that we have free choice. And with the idea of a multiverse, there is infinite versions of you that are existing at the same moment in time, quote unquote. And what if it is simply the ability of making a choice that shifts you from one to another,
Right.
and for the person, it's a continuity. So
Right.
let's say, for instance, somebody's, let's look at success stories. Somebody grows up in the poorest of the poor communities, dealing with all this horrible situation around them, feels trapped, feels like they can't change anything, but they try anyway. They work their tail off, and their life starts changing, it starts shifting, and the next thing you know, there's this great success story. I came from nothing. And what if through those period of choices that the reality of them still exists in that really bad play, that really bad way of them growing old and, being, perhaps living in abject poverty for the rest of their existence, but they were able to shift to a different dimensional reality because of the choices they make.
That's an interesting idea, because say, you're living in your reality. I like to say I'm pretty grounded. I got my feet on the ground in this reality. The problem is like you said, what if, when you make a choice, you shift reality. Your next step takes you out of that particular timeline and runs you into another one.
Right.
Where in the old timeline that you shifted out of, you made the other choice. So, but then again, we're talking about different dimensions. We're talking about dimensional shifting. But it could be translated as a Mandela effect, because in this new one, the people that were there before you know it as one thing, and your timeline that you shifted out of knew it as another. So that's I could see how that could happen. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's just a kind of a thought experiment, as Brooks would say. But
well, it's like that movie, that Nick Cage movie called Next, where he sees 3 seconds into the future.
I've not watched that. Is it any good?
No.
Okay, I'm not a big Nicolas Cage fan. No offense, Nicolas Cage, but it's something about the way you portray your characters that I don't know. I have a hard time getting involved in it.
He's had a couple good ones. He's had a couple bad ones, and he's had a couple that were just
All right, but in this movie,
he could see 3 seconds into the future.
Okay.
And he would be able to splinter himself into different, manifestations. And like if he's going if he's like in an industrial warehouse, he can go send one split to the left, one split to the right, and one split to the forward.
Okay.
3 seconds in time, and then he comes back, and then he knows which way to go. Like he's running from like the cops or something. Something like that. Right. So he knows which way to go and which way not to go. But so he takes the right path, the correct path.
Okay.
But what if those other ones kept going? In that other lane, that other, direction, and they became a different manifestation of himself in two different realities.
Right. Well, let's get to the phone line and see what Mike MCAT has to say. MCAT, welcome to the show, brother.
Tales from the Trails.
Gentlemen, what's going on?
Nothing much, brother, but I'm excited to hear what you have to say, because clearly we're on the same page here.
Yeah, that last one really sounded like could be Mandela effect. I think the question that I had was, how would you be able to tell the difference between Mandela effect, trans-dimensional, some type of movement, or, moving through the multiverse?
Right, yeah.
How would you be able to tell the difference between those?
And maybe you couldn't. Maybe that's the thing. And maybe they're all the same phenomena, but there's just different symptoms people notice.
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
Yeah, that could be.
I don't know.
That could very well be. That's just wild how people will, like that cell phone one where they're playing with it or on the cell phone and looking for it, and it's locked in the car. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
That's the universe just messing with you there.
Yeah, you know, there's somebody sitting there going, yeah. I think we have that same problem on the portal sometimes.
Oh God, yes, yes. Watch him. His mic's not going to work.
Yeah, his arbitrary tech failures, and it's like, what? How come? That doesn't make sense.
Well, you know, what if the story with the cell phone? What if somebody in a different timeline, her other aspect in another timeline, left it in the trunk, and then shifted out of that timeline?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but she had to go and live the result of that timeline.
So in that case, the girl that left it in the trunk probably had it appear on the table next to her.
Good point.
You know, and then there's another article, you know, out there in her reality that, you know, that she shared that story. Right. Very wild.
Yeah, or it could be somewhere in the multiverse where one version of her left it in the trunk and another version of her, and she just jumped from one, you know, universe to the next.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And why? What was the trigger? What was the catalyzing event that caused that shift to happen? That, to me, I think is where the magic is in all of this.
Yeah, because we have no idea how that happens or if that's even possible.
Right. But we have, you know, it's anecdotal evidence, but we have people claiming it did. So something could have possibly happened.
Right.
And what made it happen? You know, what was going on in these precise moments that all of these people are experiencing this shift or this jump to a different, you know, if it is, let's say, quote unquote, a reality shift, then what is the catalyzing event that causes that to happen? Right. And that, to me, is maybe the key. And maybe that's the knowledge of ancient sorcerers and stuff. Like, they had this all dialed in, and they could just jump, you know, and it would seem like magic to everyone else, but it was just them knowing how to shift that reality. I don't know, just a thought.
That's interesting.
Right? Because we have all
that's pretty interesting.
We have all these stories, and even religious figures, like, you know, if you look at in Christianity, the stories of Jesus and how he, you know, the water became wine. Well, that's a reality shift, you know, isn't it? I mean, in a sense, and I don't mean to demean religious figures. That's not the scope of what I'm saying. But, of course, if somebody was of divine knowledge, they would have that knowledge of how to shift things.
Yeah, somebody who can direct it.
Right. They would know how to shift things to direct a given thing to occur just by knowing how to catalyze those events. And therein lies the conundrum, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I'm going way out there.
It's interesting. It's interesting in the Old Testament, in the creation story in early Genesis, where God speaks creation into being, you know, just by speaking it.
There you go. That's pretty incredible.
You know, and I talk about the way I talk to myself, my self-talk. I don't let myself talk about, you know, I'm going to get sick. I don't, you know, so I believe that I manifest my destiny through my words, my vibration that I put out there. You know, so yeah, that's an interesting thing, but that would point to us, with my analogy, it would point to us being creator beings ourselves. That's just a thought, a theory.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. One of the books I was reading explained it that human beings are able to create habitable order out of chaos.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah.
And I really like that idea. That's a pretty good idea.
I do too. And you know, what if in that story of the cell phone, what if there was one person just sitting there going, God, I'm so tired of her sitting there monkeying with her phone. Just put it away, you know? And that was actually the person that was able to catalyze the event, you know? So we only have the narrative from one person who was sitting there having a discussion, and boom, this friend's phone is gone.
Right.
But maybe one of the other friends was like, oh, I'm so tired of this. She's just showing off. And, and suddenly the phone is locked in the trunk.
That is so weird.
Right? Yeah, this is the spookiness.
That is really weird. Speaking of Mandela effect, I was watching. I think the guy's on TFR,
Hmm.
and I can't remember who it is, but he's like doing a dedicated study on the Mandela effect.
Oh, I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, but I listened to the show. Really, really interesting in the way he's been able to kind of log how it moves through history and the different subject that it kind of picks and chooses. It'll go on some subjects and not others.
Oh, wow. That is pretty wild.
That would correlate with a simulation. Because
Right.
line 10 go to 12. If no, go here.
Right.
That would correlate with the simulation.
So it's a logic argument, is what
Yes.
you're saying. Yeah. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I don't know which host is doing that, but I'd be really interested to hear how that goes. That'd be a hell of an ambitious study to do, though, because
Yeah.
you're talking about a global phenomena.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of work to try and keep track of that.
Yeah. But really,
I'm sure it is. I mean, the vast amount of history
Mm-hmm.
and history that apparently is not even that old
right.
that can change.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. I have no idea how that even happens.
I don't know either, but it really cooks your bacon, though, doesn't it? I mean, when you start thinking about it all and the ramifications of it, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it would be why.
Right.
Why are these things changing?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
What is the purpose behind that?
Mm-hmm. That's the big question. I mean, is it us moving towards? Is it us marking progress through our lives? Is it something more fundamental, or is it just weird crap breaking down in this really complex simulation? I'd love to think that there was a higher reason for it all, like it was demonstrating a change on a very fundamental level that shows us that we're making progress, that we're getting somewhere, and things are happening. But what if it's just like a virus in the program, and sometimes things go sideways?
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting.
Right.
An interesting thought.
Yep. And that's the thing with this topic is
There's so many questions.
there's more questions than there could possibly be answers. Yeah. But it is incredibly intriguing, and it's mind-numbing to think of the ramifications of it, but at the same time, what if it's just a bad line of code and it causes weird things to happen once in a while.
Right.
And could be if it is indeed a simulation, but I really think there's something incredibly profound going on. We just don't understand what it is quite yet.
Yeah, well, here's hoping that we start figuring out some answers sometime.
Yeah, no doubt.
Amen, brother. Well, as always, it's always a pleasure to hear from you, and thank you so much for calling in and all the love you keep showing this show. We love you, brother.
Just let me know when I can just bat my eyes again. That was great.
I will let you know beforehand. And you guys will probably do it on cue. That was hilarious.
All right, brother. You have a great night, and thanks so much for being a part of the show.
You guys too. Take care.
Thanks,
All right,
bud.
good night, MCAT.
Night.
Thanks. Is a wonderful friend.
Yeah, what a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
That's a cut from a cloth that ain't printed too often. Just saying, in a Matrix kind of reference, If we're all simulated, then I like MCAT's simulation. No, nothing. Crickets? All right, whatever. Whatever, tough crowd. Okay. So, continuing on here.
Chacha says, I was dying from laughter after that. Too bad. There's a whole lot of people that missed that.
Yep,
They'll never figure it out.
They just rolled out as the credits rolled, and they missed that whole deal.
They lost it.
Yep, you'll have to watch the last episode from Wednesday night if you want to know.
No, secret portal lore.
Ooh,
Portal lore.
It's Portal Apocrypha.
Apocrypha.
All right.
That's awesome.
So this one is, when I was a teenager, I was in my room and I decided to go to the kitchen to make a sandwich. I looked at the clock before I left, 6:48 p.m. Went to the kitchen, made an awesome sandwich, got some chips and a drink.
Ooh.
This probably took me at least 10 minutes, and then I walked back into my room. The clock still said 6:48 p.m.
Wow, that's a quick sandwich.
I stood there for a bit, really confused, and then it turned to 6:49. Now, I got to say, on a clock, especially if it's a digital readout, if your eyes are just a little fuzzy, 8s and 3s,
Yes.
and, 8s can look like a lot of different things. It could be a 0. It could have been 6:40.
Yeah.
And it looked, oh, that's an 8. And then, it's just a silly glance. So while, I sure hope that they had this really profound event, looking at a clock, I don't think is solid evidence of time freezing, so to speak. I think it's probably more just a human error.
And it's like those days you're standing at work and you're going, Lord, I've been here for like 4 hours. I'm ready for my lunch. And then you look up and you realize you've only been here for an hour and a half.
Right.
It's just one of those things. Brooks talks about it every now and then. He's mentioned it before. It's like you get in your car.
Right.
You drive down the road. You go from point A to point B faster than you've ever done before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same amount of time because you go on autopilot and you do these things automatically without noticing.
Right.
What you're watching, you're being attentive to what you're doing, but your brain's in a different spot.
Right.
And that's time loss. I've done it myself, but I know it's just road hypnotism, if you want to call it anything. I'm sure MCAT's experienced some of that. He's like, wow, I got here quick.
That's something I'd like to hear from him. Has he ever had any time anomalies as he's driving? Because there's nobody spending more time on the road than MCAT,
Yeah,
I'm sure he's probably been through a few wormholes himself,
no doubt.
Really, because I've experienced that. I've told the story of being in the blizzard,
Right.
and being absolutely terrified that I had to come up to this twisting, hilly part
Right.
during a blizzard. Roads are ice
You
underneath
had
the
your
snow.
son with you, right?
Yeah, my son was with me. We just dropped off my middle son, and it was just me and him in the car, and I'm just white knuckling it, driving maybe 30 miles an hour at the tops on the highway, just because I could only see about 6 feet past my head, the hood of the car.
Right.
And the next thing I know, I see a sign that shouldn't have occurred until like 3 miles past that twisty turny part.
Right.
And it said, "Hey, welcome to Hay Creek." And I'm like, what?
What?
How the hell did this happen?
I
Even
just got here.
my son was like, "Dad, what just happened?" Because I told him before this, I'm like, all right, hang on, just be ready. I don't know, this next part of the road is going to be really bad. And, he's familiar with the drive. And
Right.
suddenly, boom, we're like, 3 miles past the bad part.
Right.
And like I said, we were only going like 20, 30 miles an hour tops.
Right.
There's no way we covered that much ground in just minutes.
And that's the perfect thing. It's like, you get tense
Uh-huh.
and like, for lack of, to throw in a little humor, Jesus takes the wheel, and you're kind of the road, you're going slow enough, you just being cautious, but all of a sudden you're like, and it's done,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just that hypnotism,
Yep.
and it's you stress yourself out, your brain went, okay, we'll be fine, so shut up, and then you're done.
Yeah.
I think that does occasionally happen as well.
I think it does too, but that was definitely a profound, incredible event. And, I'm
yeah.
very grateful for it because I don't know. I mean, maybe it would have just been getting stuck.
Yeah.
Maybe something just as stupid as that, but I just really wanted to get home. I had no
Yeah,
business
no
being
doubt.
on the road anyway.
I've been like that here.
Yeah.
I've been coming up from Coeur d'Alene,
Right.
and just this blizzard, it's a total whiteout. And as a matter of fact, I got back into Sandpoint. It was actually Coquilala at the time, but I got in there. I got home faster than I expected to. So
Mhm.
there you go. So
Yep. There you go.
thank God.
That's all wildness and
How's our
weirdness.
time?
How is our time? That's a great question, Don. And what about time? How about time? Let's talk about time. We got a minute and a half, about a minute before the break.
You know what I find about time?
Um,
Keeps slipping.
Don't give me a strike.
I didn't say anything.
I know. Just stop there. Stop there.
Stop.
In
Go
the
no
name of copyright.
Oh, look who's going there.
Yeah, hey, I shifted at the right moment. I know how far I can push that, I think.
Actually, well, yeah, okay. No,
I'm
not
open.
really, but okay. I was having this conversation with my nephews today. So we can sing a song for like 15 seconds and not get a copyright, right? I said no.
Why?
You can't. You can't sing a song for 3 seconds without their algorithms picking it up.
Ooh, I guess it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So about 3 seconds, and then before the
Hopefully.
monster AI comes and puts the hammer down and says,
They adjust
"You may
your
not."
reality.
It's like Gandalf on the bridge. You may not monetize. And I'm the Belrog. Sorry, I went full Lord of the Rings there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm revealing my inner geek one day at a time.
1 day, 1 second.
But we're going to go to our next break, ladies and gentlemen, for the hour, and we will be right back. So don't go away, everybody. Love you all. Mean it. And we'll be taking attendance on the other side. So
Don't go anywhere.
Make sure you're in your seats. That's all I'm saying. All right, we'll be right back.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid toy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking all the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well fed.
It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
And so can we, ladies and gentlemen, and so can we.
Last for years.
Last for years and
that'd be
years,
great.
Don.
Yeah, awesome.
The
Let's do it.
portal will be on for decades, and hopefully more people will watch us. But you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us on our journey through the Paranormal Portal. It's always a pleasure to look up and see not only the friendly faces that we've grown to know and love, but new faces all the time. So It's great to meet you guys, and thank you all of you who are tuning in on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, or on our YouTube channel. Currently, we are streaming live on YouTube, so if you want to see the magic of Don and I doing the magic we do here on the portal, you can go over to youtube.com/paranormalportal and check us out, and be sure to follow us on Facebook.
Yep.
Facebook.com/paranormalportalradio. That is the place that I will do any and all announcements about things going on in the portal. Perhaps MeWe as well. We have a MeWe page, or I have a MeWe page. I haven't got a portal MeWe page, but Brent Thomas page on MeWe is available as well for announcements if anything big comes up. So follow us everywhere you can. Follow us on Twitter.
Totally.
We are at Paranormal Portal, PORTL. So it's at Paranormal and then PORTL. So I'm really a terrible tweeter, but I have intentions of being better. Well, I'm getting better.
I'm getting better.
So we're talking about glitches in the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a topic that I think most everyone can relate, because I think kind of tonight we've established that glitches in the Matrix and the Mandela effect are probably hand in hand, and probably symptomatic of the same anomaly, whatever the hell this anomaly is. But people shifting to a different reality, people having weird experiences that they can't quite explain, strangeness, oddities of that sort. So I think we all have, when you look into the Mandela effect, I think that's the most universal one that people go, it did used to be Berenstein, and now it's Berenstain. And, whatever it is, lion lays down with the lamb to the wolf lays down with the sheep or something like that. Just these weird shifts that have happened.
Marcus Aurelius says, I remember seeing you guys in reruns 230 years from now.
Whoa.
Seriously. Wow. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's awesome. I don't know what that means, but that's really cool.
That would be interesting.
Wouldn't it be
These
funny
guys
if we
were so good that nobody watched them? Now they're like a cult show 230 years. That's actually interesting. And that's kind of the fun thing. I don't know if I want to like make it big. I just want to be like, you remember those guys? They should have been big.
Yeah, we're like Bill and Ted.
Yeah. And 30 years later, they're making a third one.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be pretty cool. And a fourth Matrix, apparently. So lots of Keanu
Matrix
coming up,
yep.
ladies and gentlemen. So if you like Keanu Reeves, you're in the right timeline. So
I actually do like Keanu.
I do too. He just sounds like an amazing person. like genuinely, he's a good guy.
That's to if memes are to be believed, but he has had a really rough life.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stay humble in something like that.
Well, he's grounded though.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep.
So let's get to more of these weird glitches in the reality, ladies and gentlemen. So this one's kind of cool. Had a friend who was convinced, who was convinced
Butterfly effect.
Something was wrong with the area between the nearby town and his home. Or maybe it was his car. He claimed that many times he'd leave work and somehow be home 5 minutes later when it was a 15 or 20-minute drive.
Yeah, see? There you go.
It was crazy. He wasn't the only one to experience it either. Happened to a few friends that rode with him. Definitely weird stuff. You okay there?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
I
need
would just
another
flip it
beverage,
on
by the way?
No, I'm still.
All right. Well, go
That's
help
what
yourself.
caused this, yeah. So.
All right. All right. So that's a experience. This one person seems to be able to do this drive in just a fraction of the time it should take.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool. So maybe there's something they're doing that is catalyzing those events over and over and over. Is it the car? Is it something the way the engine's firing, or is it the person?
He's got a Jetsons car.
Yeah. Didn't they sound like that? They're like. Sorry, I just
Wow.
I want a Rosie.
Yeah,
I need a Rosie robot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just opens her chest and pulls out a sandwich.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sandwich, yes.
I said sandwich. I did say sandwich.
Did you get that thing from Uncle Larry the other day? The best bar in town.
Uncle Larry is just a shocking wonder. He's a wonderful guy, amazing guy,
he's
but
a great guy.
oh my God, he sends the raciest stuff I've ever seen in my life. All right, so moving on before we go full gutter here. It's not even like I'm asking for it. It's just like, what?
I love him.
Larry's a unique soul.
Oh my goodness.
All right, this one is I was sitting in my office one day when my desk phone rings, and it's my undersheriff asking me to bring him all the reports, dispatch, and logs, any documentation referring to a specific. So I get it all together and start towards his office. I meet him in the hallway and hand him the paperwork, and he asked me what it was, and I told him it's the, blank documentation you asked for. He then swears he never asked me for it, that he had just arrived and had not yet called my office.
Huh.
He was on his way down the hall to ask me to get it together. Ooh, that's creepy, but cool.
Is that precognition?
No, because they actually received a phone call, so it's some kind of reality shift.
Oh, okay.
You know?
I missed the phone call.
Yeah, they said they got a call at their desk, and it was the undersheriff asking for all this stuff to be compiled. And wow, that's creepy but weird, but cool.
Security.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and keep him.
Yeah, that might have just gave him the raise that he needed.
No doubt.
So, here's another birthmark
really?
appearing.
Okay.
So, this is the same one.
Oh, is it?
How the hell? Yeah, it's the same one.
Okay.
They listed it twice.
Is that a glitch?
No, that's somebody trying to stretch their list out.
Yeah.
So
I know this one's in here, but they'll never remember it. Just put it back up there.
To this day, I cannot explain what happened. Was watching television with my friends, and we landed on some old 80s movie I used to watch over and over, but hadn't seen in a really long time. I had the dialogue memorized, and it all instantly came back, and I knew what was going to be said next. Here's the freaky part. We changed channels and kept trying to find something to watch, and I noticed that everything we watched was the same. Mm-hmm. I knew every line of dialogue as if I was remembering it from having memorized it. These were all things I had never watched before. Here's the real freaky part. It started happening even when my friends were talking. An instant before they said anything, I knew word for word what they were saying. The effect only lasted about an hour or so, but it was bizarre. Wow. Huh. I don't know what to think of that one. So is I don't know. That's weird. I was thinking is memory tied to precognition somehow, that there's a correlating factor there? I don't know. That's weird. I don't know what to make of that one. That's strange. But I guess it'd be so if you could listen to, if you knew what people were going to say, would you like that kind of ability or no?
It would be helpful. It would have been helpful in my younger years in the bar, but that's about it.
Huh.
It's like, hey, do you want? No. Don't ask her. But this actually kind of goes back. This kind of goes back
when you were trolling in your younger years.
Well, you got. I'm a guy. I'm a dude. But that's actually kind of like the idea of the movie Next. Because that was actually the crux of the whole movie. He was waiting for a girl that he had seen.
Oh.
But
okay.
But yeah. So anyhow, but yeah. And he kept going through the scenario. If I see her again, what am I going to do? What's going to get her eye? What's going to get her? So, no, I wouldn't want to. I would in that sense, but not anymore.
Right.
I mean, because at this point, you know what? I found out that after I turned 40,
mm-hmm.
I don't care what people say. I'm like, Okay.
Oh, Duck Sauce has a good point. He
What-
says the Akashic Records cast its shadow into the future. That's true. That's a good point. And we haven't really ever addressed that on the show, but the Akashic Records, of course, are the collected knowledge of all past, present, and future events that exist in the aethers, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The aethers. Yes.
I did say aethers.
Yes.
I did. I know
Absolutely
the difference between ethers and aethers.
Thank God.
So, yeah, very cool. The Akashic Records. Could that be a part of what this person was tapping into? Maybe.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, another one. Sometimes I swear the lights flicker in whatever room I'm in. It's like someone turned all the present lights off simultaneously. And I even asked those around me if they saw the lights turn off, and I don't recall blinking any time this has happened either. I wonder if I have a mini nanosecond blackouts. Well, that's maybe something you should see your doctor about.
Yeah. No doubt.
I'm gonna.
You might need a brain scan.
Right. I mean, if you're like your eyes are just quitting for a second, that might be indicative of something else going on. I'd be a little more concerned about something like that, because if no one else is experiencing it, then it's
Right.
just you.
It's just you. Is it me or is it Johnny? It's just you, because yeah, that's exactly it right there in a nutshell. It's just you.
Now, this one sounds more psychic than anything. It says, sometimes I'll be talking to someone I've never met, and very specific facts about them will pop into my consciousness out of nowhere, like this person has a golden retriever that died in 2009. And then they'll inevitably bring up the fact that I mentioned without me saying anything first, sometimes seconds later, sometimes years. So that just sounds like a psychic
Yeah.
impression. I don't know that has anything to do with a glitch in the matrix, but maybe for this person, they need it to be a glitch in the matrix because they don't believe in the whole psychic thing.
Right.
But
And is that a failing in there because they don't? Is it a choice? Do they not believe? Well, they has to be. They've never had something happen to them that they would never, give credence to the paranormal or something like that.
well, some people just refuse to acknowledge the paranormal. I mean, it's not
That's
even.
true, yeah.
It's not. It's even in the face of undeniable events, people will try desperately to shape a reality around it of the mundane. And, whatever, to each his own. People can believe whatever they want, and they can put whatever narrative they want on it if that makes it more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But, I do believe people are psychic. I know many of them, and consider many of them wonderful friends.
Right. Yeah,
So-
yeah, true. Yeah.
All right, so here we go is another one. Every once in a while, I have dreams about places or people I've never seen. I've never seen. Then about 6 or 7 months later, I'm in the place or with the people I have the deja vu. I also sing random songs even when something else is playing on the radio, and then the next song that plays is what I was singing. I've done this I've done this on mine, my best friend's, and my girlfriend's iPods on shuffle many, many times, and it freaks them the hell out every time. One super weird thing, though, happened about 2012-ish. I was 19 and living at home with my parents and younger sister still. I came home from work, from my job at a barbecue place, and my sister says to me, "Oh, I thought you said you were off today." I'm confused because I left at 5 a.m. before anyone was awake, and I ask her, "When did I say that?" And she says to me, "Like 2 hours ago in your room." She thinks I'm screwing with her, so I tell her to smell me because you can smell the barbecue and the smoke on me, and then she gets really creeped out and tells me she had went into my room earlier and seen me in bed with covers up to my neck and had a 15-minute conversation with me.
Wow.
And that stuff really creeped me out, and I never felt comfortable in that room ever again. Yeah, that's weird. So is that a doppelganger, though?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Was she talking to the aspect she was expecting to be in the bed?
Right.
You know,
Or was there somebody,
maybe
mimicking?
it was a mimic. You
Yeah.
know, why- oh, gosh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's
well,
creepiness going on here. So we're in the portal, Don.
Yeah, I know.
There's no rules here.
Apparently not.
So this one is when I was about 9. I was eating dinner in my room. For some reason, I was sat at my dresser and had a big mirror, and my dad came in to check on me, and he asked me if I wanted some more tea, to which I said yes, and handed him my cup. I watched him walk out and close the door, looked over to see my cup full of tea, right from where I picked it up. I asked my dad about it. He said he never came into my room. Wow. That's pretty cool. I need that to happen all the time in my house.
Yeah.
Just request it.
Need another beer? Yeah.
Yeah. Bing. It's there.
Hello.
Yep. Want some more sake? Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
What was that?
Oh, it was me. I
All
accidentally
right.
dropped my bottle.
Okay.
Nothing creepy.
All right. Well, just checking.
Okay.
I'm used to creepy, so
Yeah, I know.
I just like to know when it's happening around me. Oh, so very interesting.
Interesting.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Jesse James. Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking on the chat.
Yeah, I know.
They're on a different page. They went from Keanu to Sandra Bullock and
Well, they went from Keanu to Jesse James to
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra
Okay.
Bullock
Gotcha.
via Jesse James.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
She's
Okay.
still hot.
She's a beautiful lady. She really is. Very stunning woman. So,
Clumsy as hell, from what I understand.
oh, is that right? Well,
Yeah,
that
apparently
makes
she's just clumsy as hell.
that just makes her adorable
I
then
know.
too. That's an adorable trait, you know. It's like, oh, look at how she drops stuff. That's so cute.
She's always tripping over things.
Oh, that's a good thing, though.
Friggin' funny.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff, though. I mean, I like especially.
Oh, Beth says we're still listening, fellas.
Oh, you're still here? I didn't know you guys were still here.
Oh gosh, we thought we stopped the stream.
Is this thing on?
Wow. Okay.
All right. So, I figured since, we're talking about all kinds of different stuff all over the place, we could just have our own conversation here too. All right. Here's another one. Here's one from my brother. I don't think our mom believed him, but I really do. He seemed spooked when he got home. He was sitting in the passenger seat driving home alongside my mom. A bright green car swerved and hit them, knocking bits and pieces of glass into his arm.
Oh.
He jolted awake afterwards just in time to see the green car pass them, and he claims he felt the marks the glass left afterwards as well. So it was just a dream.
Huh.
Wow.
Surreal.
Right? That's
Yeah.
creepy, but it's a good thing that the reality he experienced was much different than the one that he dreamed. Yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But there you go. Okay, so this one sounds pretty cool. It says, I have to preface this with some backstory about a man named Zeus. Now, Zeus has a reputation around Knoxville, Tennessee as a bit of an eccentric character. My brother has told me stories about him making people pass out just by whispering in their ear, giving people glass pendants and saying, this is the color of your soul. Just generally unusual stuff, and he was thought of as a magic man of sorts. Well, long story short, my brother and I were walking through the West Town Mall when we saw him. Now, let me tell you, this guy is incredibly recognizable. I'm talking 6'5" African dude with gray goatee, nose piercings, and at least 4 rings per finger. He always carried a staff, sorry, and wore floor-length black duster jacket with huge buckles on the front. This was Zeus. We saw him walking just a bit ahead of us, and then turned towards an exit. And naturally, we lost sight of him for probably 60 seconds after he turned the corner and left the mall. The weird thing was, after my brother and I passed that same exit, not more than about 30 seconds later, we were coming upon another exit entrance on the other side of the mall, when all of a sudden out pops, you guessed it, good old Zeus, the magic man. Now, this is a big place. It takes 5 minutes to walk the length of it, and there's absolutely no way he could have made it to the opposite side of this place in the time that he did. Even if he was sprinting or was somehow able to go up over the building, 60 seconds is just not enough time. This man teleported. There's just no other way to slice it. Wow, he sounds like a really interesting guy, though. That's someone I'd like to talk to. That's just that's cool.
But see, that's like the voodoo doctor,
Right.
Yeah, and so you never really know what you're going to get with them, because there's some good ones and then there's not so good ones, and
Well, I'm just saying, it seems that he's tapped into something else.
Oh, that's.
But I hope that's a good thing. I don't know what he's tapped into necessarily, but that's sounds like a very compelling person.
Yeah.
So I was waiting tables about 12 years ago, and my coworker forgot to put in a food order for a 3-top table. I'm not sure what that means,
That
but
means it's a table with 3 people.
oh, okay. He also forgot what the order was, and I was laughing at him, stressing out, trying to figure it out. And I said it was probably fried mozzarella, a cheeseburger, and no onions and chicken fingers. I was completely joking, and that was their exact order. It freaked me out. I made him let me run the food to the table to make sure he wasn't screwing with me. Wow.
Wow.
That's kind of cool. Tapping into that psychicness.
That's like Wes today. He posts on there. He goes, I walked into my restaurant and all I had to do was nod at the waitress and she had my food all done up and my drink just the way I like it. And I didn't say a word. Wes, you've been there too often. you spend a lot of money there, my friend.
You might be a regular.
You might be a regular or a little irregular.
I'm guessing you're regular. You know, you go someplace a lot when you just look up and they start preparing.
Yeah, your
food.
food's already there.
Yeah. And you might not have much variety in your diet as well.
Yeah, you might want to branch out and try a few new things. God love you, Mr. West.
Absolutely.
No.
All right, so sorry, I just got distracted. Let's see what our time is here. As the show continues, we got about 4 minutes until the break.
Okay.
Let's see, as often as every couple of days, I'll vividly remember being exactly where I am as it is, but at a different time, like repeating a cutscene in a video game. It's frequent enough I've repeatedly questioned the legitimacy of my existence. Yeah, and that's the part that's weird. So if this is a Matrix, if this is just a grand simulation, what does it all matter? I mean, what's it all for?
Yeah.
What's the point? So unless the Matrix is just, it kind of changes the dynamic of everything. But if God is just a programmer and we are, we just acknowledge the programmer as this great amazing being, is the programmer wanting us to improve ourselves? Maybe we're some kind of really screwed up race he stumbled on and went, no.
Yeah, no doubt.
We must fix this. And so we got plugged into this deal so that we figure things out. But, I personally don't think so. I'm not saying that with any kind of air of
authority.
Yeah, or suggestion. It's just a pondering of my mind is all. I mean, what if it is a Matrix? Well, I think as long as you're continuing to work on yourself and make yourself a better person, no matter the mechanics of what we are in, whether it's a simulation, a Matrix, AI, whatever you want to call it, or if it's a manifest reality by a divine consciousness, whatever, as long as you're making yourself a better person, I think then that is a good thing.
Okay.
We got another call, don't we?
Yeah, but we don't have time. We're going to break, aren't we?
We are going to break, ladies and gentlemen, but we do have a call on the board. I don't know if who's on the board.
It's D.
It looks like D, and I'm hoping D. I hope your phone is working better tonight. But just wait till after the break, and we'll get to the call. We'll try it, but if your phone is still goofy, it's going to be a short-lived phone call.
I think we have a pet troll.
We do.
Yeah. Well, when we came back from the last break, I noticed we had a thumbs down, and Duke's been talking about it too. I think we got a pet troll.
Well, sometimes people don't click correctly, so check your rating.
Make sure that your thumb is blue
and pointed upwards towards the video, not down towards the comments.
Hey, I just had to re-thumb mine, so that's weird. I know I hit it when I first came in.
Well, even if it is somebody, like I said, it's. Of course, we like the thumbs up, but if somebody really doesn't like the show, then by all means, you're welcome to make a thumbs down.
Is it true?
You're a dick, but you're welcome to do it.
Massage your chakras.
I mean, why waste time watching something you don't enjoy? It's like, hey, I'm going to stop by and give them a thumbs down, bastards.
Well,
it's like, okay, thanks a bunch.
In this case, it's like, bad publicity is still good publicity.
Right, yeah.
Go ahead, Jack. Oh, we have 2 thumbs down now.
Oh, somebody
got called out. Ooh.
Somebody's being snarky.
What are you going to do? I'm going to give you 2 thumbs down.
Now someone's just being snarky on that one.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to go to our break. Let's see, what do we got left? We got a minute.
We got a minute. We can still heckle them for another minute.
Hey, so if you're giving thumbs down, your mama wears combat boots.
We got 3. 3. Wow.
No, I mean, it's fine. People are welcome to, share whatever they think. That's why it's there. If you love it, thumb it up. If you hate it, thumb it down. But then you should probably go. because there's
Yeah,
not
don't-
much point
don't waste
being
your
here.
time yeah, 'cause we don't change.
Yeah, this is as good as it's going to get. So if you're waiting for things to improve, you're going to be waiting a long time. This is the whole show. I mean, this is it. Us having discussions, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the Paranormal Portal is all about. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't, but we always try to have fun with it.
Sometimes we make guests.
Yep. Yeah. We make guests.
Guests.
What
Guests,
does
guests.
that mean?
Never mind.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So anyway, we're going to go to break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. I guess it's the last half hour already.
Yes, it is. Wow.
Jeez. Wow. All right. Don't go away, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Got to pay the bills. So we'll see you in just see you on the other side of that. So I don't know what else I'm going to say. I'm muting now. live. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here. This is a live show, unless you're watching it later on YouTube, and then it's not live anymore. But it's live right now. It's happening right before your very eyes. And
You mean it's happening right now? Yes, this is happening right now,
in
sir.
this moment, it is live and unscripted, as always.
In this moment. Ooh.
But we are talking about glitches in the Matrix tonight, and we do have a call on the board here, so let's get to this and see how this goes. Area code 330, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up,
Oh my
everybody?
God.
Love you all, and thank
Yay.
you so much
It's
for being
working.
patient.
It's working. It's good to hear from you.
Yay.
Yay.
Settle down, Anakin.
Yeah, well, yeah, sorry. I'm just happy to finally hear from Dee because we've tried this a few nights in a row now and had nothing but problems, but I'm glad it's working tonight.
Well, just like, the portal is the portal, I guess my place is my place, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have my set of issues that I always seem to have to go through.
Oh.
And since I moved here, communication is one of them.
Oh, sure. Okay. Gotcha.
And yeah,
Well,
it seems that my phone goes out on a regular basis,
Mm-hmm.
and my communication I go dark on a regular basis here.
Oh.
I can't get my mail, stuff like that,
Oh.
ever since I moved here. So
Well, I'm sorry for that, but what's
all
on your mind
kinds of-
tonight?
anyway, oh gosh, you're on one of my favorite subjects, of course.
Oh, good.
But,
Okay.
well, heck. Yeah, and glitches in the Matrix. Oh, my gosh, there's so many of them. And you know what? Somebody warned me, if you ever get two black cats, that you remember in the Matrix movie how they see one black cat walking by and then they see another one. And it's like,
Sure.
oh, no, glitch in the Matrix. They
Deja
found
vu,
us, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yep. Gotcha.
Okay, well, I did actually have it happen once where we got one black cat and then we got the second black cat. And I didn't think about it until afterwards, but then a lot of really weird stuff happened and led to me becoming homeless, in fact.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
It was for a while. Yeah.
You think that has to do
Very
with your cats, though?
strange.
You think that has anything to do with cats, though?
But I don't think it had anything to do with
Okay.
the wonderful cats that
Okay.
I had. It was the sweetest little things.
Oh.
It was, I don't know what it was, but somebody told me that before it happened, that, if you ever have two black cats, and, it sounded like a joke to me at the time. They were referring to the Matrix, and sounded like a joke, but it turned out that, I don't know, was it a self-fulfilling prophecy? I wasn't really thinking of it that way.
Sure.
But, just before
Lewis, they
that
are not.
happened, we ended up with two black cats.
Lewis, they are not bad luck. That's just a wives' tale, hocus pocus
Black
BS.
cats are not bad luck.
Yeah,
They
that's
are the sweetest little
Ridiculous.
You know what our bad luck?
They are
Siamese.
two sweet babies.
Yeah, Siamese, on the other hand, can be feral little things.
Siamese are devils.
So anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Yep.
One of them will just crawl up into your beard and purr, and then you'll be all. It'll be over.
I'm
It'll
scared
be
to
all
death
over.
of them.
You love them.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah.
A lot of men have said that. Have said, I don't want a cat. I don't like cats. And then one of the little buggers crawls up on you and starts purring, and they're so cute, and you're just like,
No, I have a cat.
oh,
I have a
darn
cat.
it, okay.
I have a cat. I just don't like Siamese cats.
Okay.
Or maybe they don't like you.
Maybe
Oh,
that's true. That might be
I love
true.
Siamese. They have such personality.
Right.
They
They
have a lot
do.
of personality. This is something I wanted to bring up. In fact, before I even go into glitches, let's go into personality. I didn't know this, but apparently they've been doing some studies on cats' brains, dogs' brains, our brains, everybody's brains. And we tend to think of cats kind of like dogs, and they're not.
Sure.
Actually, in complexity, their brains are almost as complicated as our own. Whereas dogs are far less. I mean, cats are like, I think the thing I was listening to was saying it was over 7 times as complicated as a dog's. And really more approaching our brain. And I was thinking, they mummified cats in Egypt, and the cats were special. And even Sean says cats seem to be able, a lot of us notice this, cats seem to be able to come and go.
Sure.
I mean, they visit.
Sure, and we'll have to do
to come and go between realms.
We'll have to do a show about cats sometime.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah,
we could do a segment or a show about cats. But how about the reality shifts? Where is that humming?
Paranormal Portal.
Yeah.
Paranormal. Tales of the Paranormal.
Oh, paranormal.
Okay. Anyway, I think I'm going to put that on a T-shirt. Paranormal. Anyway, but glitches in gosh, I've had so many. I told you before that 33 years ago when I died, ever since then I've been having what people call Mandela effects. Nothing is the way I remember. Every now and then something will happen and it won't be the way I remember it. It's like, wait a minute, this was always this way.
Right.
I mean, and it started with a roadside place that was all of a sudden there that shouldn't have been there.
It's my mic. I accidentally
on my drive to Columbus.
Okay, gotcha.
I had a route I always took on the drive to Columbus, and a place showed up that should never have been there with a Starvin' Marvin complex. I had never even heard of a Starvin' Marvin complex.
Starvin'
Marvin was this little...
I don't either. I can't say I'm familiar with it.
Such a thing?
No. What is a Starvin' Marvin complex? I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, Starvin' Marvin was just this little thing in some of these convenience gas stations along the road where you could get hot dogs and coffee and pop, right? It was just a little section. That was called their Starvin' Marvin section. I get off the road at my usual place that I get off, and this was toward Lodi, and all of a sudden there's this, the gas station is there, the diner is there, but they're joined now, and there's a Starvin' Marvin complex with showers and TVs and a gift shop. And I'm like, no, this was never here. This was never here. I look around, I'm like, no way. No. When did they build this? It hasn't been that long since it's been there. They must have put this up really fast.
Right.
And I go to the girl at the counter. She's, looking at me, look around. I probably look pretty dazed. And I say, hey, this is a pretty nice place. The gift shop and the Starvin' Marvin complex. So when did they put this up? And she said 7 years ago.
Jeez.
I'm like, no.
Wow.
I drive up and down here. I mean,
you didn't say that,
though, did
you?
I used to be a vendor. I used to.
Did you say no?
Yeah, I drive down that road all the time.
Right. That's...
And I was... We keep trying to talk over each other. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dee. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, sweet. I love you anyway, Dawn.
Thanks.
Someday I'm going to visit you in your basement and eat.
Anyway,
I'm
it's not that kind of show.
Okay, don't take that the wrong way. I don't know what is the right way.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. So this place just showed up. It's like before it had been 2 separate places. Now it was joined, and it was a Starvin' Marvin complex. And when I told everybody about it, now it's a Starvin' Marvin complex, everybody says, Oh, that's crazy. There is no such thing. They thought I was kidding them.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
No such thing as a Star Marvin complex. Are you crazy? I said, it's there.
Right.
Wow.
Every time I go by there, it's still there.
Wow.
You can go see it for yourself. You know, it's like, oh my God, it's like, what happened here?
Right. Wow.
Well, we had gone down to New Orleans, me and a friend, and we had done a lot of magical things, really.
I bet you did.
He was more of a techno mage type.
Uh-huh.
And into computers and stuff. So what I think some of us are, and maybe to answer your question a little bit, is some of us probably, though we can't remember everything, some of us probably, if this is a matrix, are admins, programmers, people like that, trying to figure out what the heck happened here.
Oh, that's a good, yeah.
You know, I mean,
a valid
you
simile
know,
metaphor. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I remember going down to New Orleans, and I remember telling somebody, we got into a discussion, and I remember saying, well, you know, I'm kind of like a techie. I'm in here to find out what the heck happened. Because things are not quite going right. And I remember telling somebody that before I had my first big Mandela effect glitch.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I remember saying that to somebody. I don't remember the entire context, though.
Wow. Well,
And it was down in New Orleans.
Nolans. That's
So,
a place of mystics.
New Orleans.
Nolans.
Now, if it's New Orleans, you're from Slidell. If it's New Orleans, you're from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
But New Orleans, you're in Slidell, and Slidell people are pretty nice. And if any are listening, you're nice people. You were very nice to me
Oh, good.
when my car got broken into.
Oh, no.
Some of those people helped me get my window put back in, because the second time I went down, I got broken into and I became homeless
Oh.
down in New Orleans. And then I had many experiences down there. Let me tell you, New Orleans is a hotbed of paranormal activity, of course.
Yes, it is. Yep. It is a very
You
magical
want to
place.
see some stuff, go down there.
Yep. I agree.
You know?
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, one day, maybe we'll even go into that a little bit more. Maybe we'll even,
Absolutely.
someday maybe we'll do a show on New Orleans, or something.
Do a Nolans experience.
What all's up down there?
Yep.
It's very paranormal place.
Excellent.
I mean, gee, they got everything, you know.
Yep. Well, thank you for
but,
calling in.
Did you realize that something monumental is happening on your show?
What's that?
We might, a new community may have started right on your show.
Well, there certainly is
I
a
don't
family.
know if you noticed.
Yeah, well, I mean, tell me the narrative that you're speaking about, but I've noticed a community, a family forming here for sure. Yeah. What are you talking about, though?
Right, that I told you like ages ago that I would love to get some people together and have a Earthship community, sustainable community of some sort.
Oh.
But we need to find land.
Uh-huh.
Somebody here has land.
How about that? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's several of us that want to go do this. And if it does happen, guys, come on, you got to help us make this happen, because it's going to be paranormal paradise, okay? We're going to make our little paranormal paradise.
Well.
It's going to be a community, we have a chance to make a real paranormal community.
Oh, cool.
And I hope that anybody that wants to joins us, and those who don't want to actually join us there, that you help us, or at least just come along for the fun ride and see how it goes.
Cool.
Just urge us on.
Excellent.
Okay?
All right, my lady. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Okay.
It's always a pleasure.
Okay, love you.
Love you too. I'm glad
Love
your
you
phone
too.
works now.
And have a great.
It's always good when your phone works.
Yeah, me too, really. That was another glitching up, okay?
Sure.
So, love you. Bye.
All right, good night. Thank you.
Night, D.
That's cool. I'm glad her phone works finally because,
Yeah.
Dee's been a long time contributor to the show, but she hasn't been able to contribute too much lately. But hopefully now that's under control and she's back in the driver's seat there. Because we do love her. She's been around for a long time and been a great supporter of what we're doing here on the portal. So, where are we at, Don? We got about
like
10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Wow. See, we're having our own glitch in the Matrix here. Every time we do a portal, ladies and gentlemen, it just it doesn't take...
Tempest Fugit.
Right. Tempest Fugit, yeah. All right, so I had a dream about a hamster running on a wheel. When I woke up, my roommate said someone threw a hamster down the trash chute. I also had a dream about a white rat, and the next day, my friend tells me that his white pet rat had died.
What?
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
It is a little more than chance that he would have dreams and then something involving the subject would appear in his reality.
Right.
That's unusual, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a premonition of pets dying kind of power or something. I don't know.
Huh.
All right, I got another one. Hopefully a better one. But this didn't happen to me, but to my dad. And he works for a heating and air conditioning company, so he often has to go to people's houses to fix things. About 5 years ago, he told me he had a bizarre dream where he went on a call to an elderly woman's house. He'd never seen the house or this woman before, but he said it was bizarre because of how realistic the whole thing felt. He fixed her boiler in the dream, chatted for a bit, and then he left. Well, about a week later, his company gets a call from an elderly woman needing her boiler fixed. They send my dad onto the job, and when he arrived, he said it was the exact same house from his dream and the same old lady. He knew her name before he even had to ask, and knew his way around the house without having gone inside yet. When she opened the door, she said, "Hi, Gary." And when he asked how she already knew his name, she said she had a dream last week that her boiler broke and that my dad is the one who came to fix it. So she just knew that would be his name. Two complete strangers, never having met each other, had the exact same dream that they would meet each other,
Wow.
and then they did.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just so crazy. That is really crazy. So that's, I don't know what that would be. Would that be like the realm of providence that they were bound to meet? And, it's not a love story or anything, but it's...
Twin flames.
Well, no. I think her flame's been burning a little longer than his, but by the sounds of it. So...
Like Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's like
love doesn't have an age.
Just
it just has a bank account.
Just because you're 80 years old and haven't found the true love of your life just means that she hasn't been born yet.
Oh yeah, you saw that?
Yes.
I saw that on
Oh
Facebook.
my God, yes.
Oh man, there's like this really creepy old guy and this really beautiful lady in the swimming pool, and he's all leaning up to her and he's got his denture smile cooking, and it's like, ooh, I can see why. The magic is just obvious.
It's just magic.
I'm betting he's got a pretty fat account, is what I'm saying, and without trying to sound absolutely shallow and crass, but. I mean, that they probably don't have a whole lot in common. Like she was probably playing with Barbies when he was in his 40s, So I don't know how you make a relationship with that much disparity. Now, some people are very mature and some people aren't. Maybe she's just a very precocious, mature person who
I like that word, precocious.
Precocious.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I
Maybe
know many precocious people.
but it is pretty weird. Like, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, my wife is from Asia, and she's wonderful, and she's not that far different from my age. But there are some people that's very older Caucasian men go over there, and like 70s and plus,
Right, yeah.
go over there and they find these 20-some-year-old brides, and it's like, wow, how do you create a relationship? Now, I'm not saying it can't happen. It can. Love is love, and if it's really love, that's cool. But I think in most cases, it's just people very desperate to change their situations, and that's a whole nother deal. I don't know why I'm spiderwebbing into that, but since you brought it up, wow, did our phone line conference end?
It did.
It did.
Well, that's okay. How much time we got? We only got a couple minutes left.
Doesn't
anyhow.
say that it's ended, though. That's weird. but let's refresh that control panel and just see if something came up. Yeah, it's saying there's no conference in progress. I don't know. Somehow the phone lines apparently went down on their own. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to leave them down because we really
the show's pretty much
just have minutes left. We've got 5 minutes left of the show.
You all.
As much as I'd love to hear from you all, there just isn't much time left to do any more calls. So, oh my God, this one sounds cool. I got to read this one. This happened quite recently. I was heading towards a place from a train station that was being remodeled, and there's a huge chunk that's under construction. I got a bit lost in the area, and my Google Maps was telling me that I should go through one path, but I couldn't since the whole area was basically off limits and I should take a detour. Well, this was some busy underpass with people going to the platforms, and there was one big temporary plywood wall with a big sign of under construction, unauthorized access forbidden, no entry. And this part gets weird. That plywood wall had a plywood door, and people were entering and exiting it like normal busy door. Completely normal looking people that looked like they didn't belong in a construction area. Even some old woman entered it, and so then I thought that the map was working fine, so I decided to go through the door. And then it got even weirder. On the other side was just a huge empty area completely under construction. The area of sand piles of gravel, some pillars, and construction in the distance. The edge of the underpass was completely unfinished, and it was really confused. I was really confused since I wasn't far behind the last person who went through the door, and I had no idea where the guy went. There was no path. It didn't seem to look like there was some path where people would have gone. And there's a big gravel road in front of me going a bit to the side, and the map was telling me to follow the similar path, so I thought maybe I should check it out a bit, except, hell no, a big Caterpillar tractor sped up along the road, and I wasn't planning to walk near that. I saw the guy in the tractor looking at me confused, so next thing I thought was to go back since I shouldn't even be here. I opened the door, and a few people walking away to a platform looked at me weirdly, like I did when I saw people entering the door. No one entered after I went through, nor when I came out, so after that, I just had to take the detour since I was in a hurry anyway and forgot about it the rest of the day. So apparently people were going in and out of this door, and they say it's a place where people are spawning and despawning. I don't know. Potentially.
That's so Call of Duty-ish.
Right? I mean, it's very video gamey.
Yeah,
but
Adjustment Bureau type kind of things.
yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
What if he wearing a hat?
What if these are the aliens, that are like among us that look like us? What if they can go through and end up somewhere different?
Okay, I need to address something that's going on in the chat.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
Beth said something about, well, I got to go take a quick shower, but I'm not taking my laptop because I think Don can see me. Oh, my God.
Well.
It's just going from there.
Well, there you have it.
Oh, wow.
Well. Should we change the music?
It's all brown chicken, brown king. It's the beard. The babes like the beard.
The magic of the beard.
The babe magnet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you have it. Do you guys need some time?
No, I'm just doing okay. I'm all right.
All right.
Love you, Beth. It's all good. Yeah.
All right. So let's continue.
I won't say anything about librarians.
Ooh, but you did without doing it. You didn't, but you did, Don. You did it, but you did. All right. So as Don cackles maniacally in the distance, we'll continue on here. I was listening to my friend talk, and he suddenly just lagged out. I guess he sounded like a static phone and then repeated a couple of words. That's the whole story. It's like
okay,
2 sentences.
It's like when your tape deck, grab that little piece of tape and it went brr.
Yeah.
Oh no! Where's my pencil?
So we are down to a minute and a
Sorry.
half.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. Keep going. You're fine. But I think I'm going to be done reading stories now because we're just basically at the close of the show. And again, I'd like to remind everybody, please check out the podcast. We'd love to have your support and encouragement there. Spread the word about the Paranormal Portal to anybody you know that loves the paranormal, because well, we love new people.
Yes, absolutely.
We love the same people all as much, but it's just about raising awareness about the
Spreading
Paranormal Portal.
love.
So you can find the portal anywhere that there are podcasts, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, etc., etc., etc.
Absolutely.
Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio. Find us on Twitter at Paranormal Portal. Find us on MeWe at Brad Thomas. And what else? 7 days a week, 7 p.m. Pacific time. There is a portal happening here live on YouTube. But if you can't make the live ones, just watch the reruns or watch what you can. We appreciate it all. So stick around. Paisley Wild is coming up next with The Spaces Between.
Yep.
And her special guest is Miss Deborah Varner.
Deb Varner.
And I guess that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Love you all, and I'll be back tomorrow with some bedtime stories for you.
Good night, everyone.
Night, night.
Night, night.
Hi.